Friday is National Donut Day. So today on CityCast Portland, we've got a dozen of the freshest donuts from 4 different shops that we crowdsourced from all of you. Is Blue Star really worth all the hype? Is anyone still eating voodoo donuts? Does Portland even have good donuts? Helping me compare and decide which are the best in town is lead producer John Itariani and audio producer Julia Fiaioni. So go pour yourself a nice cup of coffee, because we're going to be eating a lot of donuts. It's Thursday, June 1st. I'm Claudia Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. Let me give you a brief little history of the donut before we jump in. Quintessentially, it's an immigrant food. I feel like when people think of donuts, they think of like Homer Simpson, they think of America. They think this is what Americans eat. But it was actually brought over by Dutch immigrants and then changed and refined throughout the years by different waves of immigrants, including Native Americans, the anti-immigrant. Mm-hmm. They have fry bread, essentially. Yeah. So I personally think they were perfected by the Cambodian refugees in the 1970s, which is that's the donut genre that I'm used to. Even the pink boxes that we associate with donuts and just like nice things and like pastries actually came from the Cambodian refugees. The story is that there's this guy named Ted Ngoy. Everybody called him the Donut King. He was the first Cambodian refugee that kind of set root in Winchell's and then started just hiring refugees, and then they were just we're gonna start our own donut chains, and he would just show people how to start their own donut shops because Southern California could not get enough of donuts.
And I think that this is the problem that we're going to have, is that Portland has found a way to make donuts kind of fancy.
Exactly.
And I don't know if the fancy donuts are going to be the ones that are going to rise to the top of the pile or not.
Yeah.
And I kind of hope they aren't.
The reason we have pink boxes is because they were the cheapest ones to buy. The white boxes were expensive, and nobody wanted to buy the weird, gaudy pink boxes. And now, look at Voodoo.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? And it's all because of Cambodian refugees. That's all I'm saying. So I wanted to start off with the closest that I could find to what I think is an LA donut. Mm-hmm. And it's coming from a couple that's actually was born and raised in Portland, but they're first generation Vietnamese and Thai immigrants. This is Delicious Donuts. And they've been in business for nearly 2 decades. When we asked the newsletter readers, hey, what's your favorite donut shop? Delicious was definitely mentioned. Michael Cronin was hey, they are the best independent shop with the nicest owners and employees, fresh and beautiful. The options are amazing. They also have breakfast options.
Yeah. And where are they?
They are on Southeast Grand Avenue near the corner of off of Burnside. So pretty central. But anyhow, immediately when you go in, what you're going to see are pictures of their family. So they started this business in 2005, and what's really impressive to me is how young they were when they started this business. So it's Penny Wynn and Boone Saraboot. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right. And Boone wanted to own his own business. And initially he wanted to open up a bar, but Penny was nope, because she didn't want her kids to grow up in a bar. And also seeing her parents basically struggle and work so hard, she just knew we're always going to be working. Fortunately enough, Boone comes from a donut making family. His sister owned a couple of donut shops when he was in high school. He even helped run one. Penny and Boone bought his sister's donut making equipment from the one that she shut down, and they opened up their shop. And again, Penny was just 22. The Oregonian interviewed her in 2009 while she was pregnant. And she was just yeah, we're working 14, 16-hour days. Yeah. And she said that they did that for 3 full years. Mm-hmm. And they were living with their parents. Her shift would start at 1 a.m. and wrap up at noon. And that was her taking time off while she was pregnant. Wow. And to me, that's what donuts are supposed to taste like.
Yeah.
There's just a little bit of struggle a hint of sadness.
Yeah, yeah. Not quite healthy for your body,
No,
but
that
good
is
for your
the
soul.
American dream that you're
Yeah.
eating right there.
I feel biased in the most positive way. I feel like every bite I'm excited to sort of think about the story of the delicious donut family and how much history and struggle and like love and perseverance are in these donuts.
Yeah, and here's the deal. In 2018, the Oregonian actually voted him the best donut shop in all of Portland. And Penny Nguyen was still working. She's the one who put these donuts together for us, this dozen. And when I asked her for her best, of course, she was just like, all the best? Like, how dare I ask for the best of her best donuts, you know? But she did point to this fritter and said, hey, this one specifically was voted the best fritter.
And that is a gigantic fritter that we're
Yeah.
looking at. That is like a bigger than your face fritter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's huge.
So you guys want to try it out?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go for this sort of chocolatey one with like looks like Oreo crumbles on top of it.
I'm going to try the fritter because she really specifically was like, y'all need to do this.
Yeah, that twisted one looks like a classic. I might have to try it.
You know, the way whenever I test a new donut shop, the way I test it is I get this like just very plain raised iced donut, you know? And I feel like if they can do that, then like I'll give them a chance.
I mean, this is my first bite of donut and it's delicious.
Yeah, this is so airy.
This is a delicious donut.
Oh, no.
I'm going to try their little fritter. Oh, it's like crunchy outside. Okay, can I just tell you that I'm not a fritter fan?
Really?
I don't think they're donuts, they're fritters, you know? I find them too greasy, but this is actually really good.
I'm trying a cake one, too. It's a cinnamon outside. Not dense at all. Very airy.
Yeah, it's almost like the sugars on the outside of the fritter are a bit caramelized, you know? It's like not burnt, but just like a little bit of that like dark, like singe flavor.
Yeah, that fritter is a win. It's making my mouth water.
Yeah. I'm actually really surprised because I'll be honest, when I saw their raised glazed, I was a little hesitant because I don't know if you could tell, but the glazing is kind of broken a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not a donut expert, but in my head, this
not a
is what happened.
donutologist.
I'm not a donut doctor, but what I do know is that sometimes when donuts are too hot and they're glazed, it breaks like that. It like the donut absorbs or something. You know, it looks kind of like a day old, but it's not clearly. So I wasn't expecting it to be that good. I learned something.
And that's
from-
some deep donut knowledge, by the way. I think I am going to call you Dr. Donut.
Yeah, that's more than I've ever known.
Welcome to CityCast Portland. With
Hosted by Dr.
Dr.
Donut.
Donut.
So what are we thinking? Any immediate thoughts on delicious donuts?
I found nothing not to like about Delicious Donuts. I thought they're classic, but like the details are there, and they are indeed delicious donuts.
All right. I guess we can go to the next one, which is the very controversial,
The iconic.
the iconically controversial. So what is this little donut shop we're talking about? Was it Voodoo?
The other pink box, Voodoo Doughnut. So Voodoo Doughnut, the first location opened in 2003 in Old Town, and now they have 17 locations all across the U.S., not just in Portland anymore. But it was started by two dudes, two Portlanders, by the names of Trey Shannon and Kenneth, quote-unquote, Cat Daddy Pogson.
No.
Who gave them that name, I don't know. But over the years, Voodoo has built up quite a reputation. And most recently, people have talked a lot about the worker strikes. So because of the conditions working in the shop, hovering over a hot fryer for 8 hours a day in now upwards of 115-degree heat, back in 2021, workers decided to walk out because management was not addressing their needs. People were going home with symptoms of heat stroke. And those workers ended up getting fired. It was 9 people.
Whoa.
So one instance of a bit of a scandal on top of the fact that Trey Shannon in 2014 also got charged with a DUI after he said he was drinking with the Timbers Army and was a bit of a lightweight. He literally ran into a porta potty.
It's like, honestly, on brand.
Him and his Mercedes backed up into a porta potty multiple times and it ended up onto a curb.
Wait, he kept hitting it over and over,
and
again?
over again.
Oh.
Neighbors said that this was the case. But there are a lot of mixed opinions about voodoo. It, even to this day, has a line around the block in their downtown location, the one that workers are still sweating day in and day out during the summer to make these donuts. But local Portlanders, for example, Thomas Vanderpool, he said, "Do I hate Voodoo Doughnut? No. I hate their company's labor practices, and I'm also not a tourist, so they're not something on my list to check out." So it's not necessarily about the donut anymore than it is about the practices and the way that they treat workers in Portland. But it feels kind of punk rock in there. When I was there earlier, they were playing Kid Cudi, and both the workers had piercings and tattoos. One of them had a tattoo on their face.
Yeah, well, Trey Shannon comes from the punk rock scene in Portland.
Yeah. So it's this punk rock kind of let's try this out and see how it works environment that it's always been since 2003. But the thing with voodoo is they get kind of made fun of for always taking it a little bit too far. For example, even with their donuts, they had a NyQuil donut once.
Oh, gosh.
They had a Pepto-Bismol donut once, right?
Yeah.
There were literal medications in the donuts, and the FDA came around and said, "You literally can't do that."
Really just should have shut it down by being like, this is a disgusting donut. You need to stop making this.
I like the entire idea of voodoo donuts. I like the spirit of voodoo donuts. I kind of feel like maybe voodoo. I don't know that I've ever eaten a voodoo donut, but I am open to the idea that maybe they're just a victim of their own success, and that we have conflated the voodoo donut fandom with the donut itself.
See, I will say, though, they changed ownership in 2018. The new CEO, Chris Schultz, runs the show. And these accusations of unfair working conditions have been around for a very long time. It seems like the past decade. It's just gotten worse over time as the weather has gotten worse. And this new CEO hasn't really done much to address it either. But he doesn't really show himself off to be that way. In a recent interview in 2018, he was talking about how, if anyone stops by Voodoo and they can't afford to buy a donut, we'll give it to them for free. I spoke to a friend of mine who worked there just within the past couple years, and he said that they would be directly reprimanded for taking donuts that they were going to throw out to give to the house's population around Old Town. So it's a bunch of crap, right? As you'll see with a lot of CEOs. But that's kind of the full picture right now. There's a lot of he said, she said, but there's definitely a bit of a reputation going on. But let's dig into these donuts and see how they taste.
Oh, I love that we're not excited. I'm speaking specifically about myself and John when I looked at his face. But
They're a
I could
little
be
frightening
misreading.
looking. I think we should start with the maple bacon. It's their claim to fame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They supposedly
Can you cut me off a
invented it.
little maple bacon?
Yeah.
All right, maple bacon.
Okay, do you guys see this? This is not a good rise.
No, it's not.
Do you see? It looks doughy in the middle.
Yeah, it even
That's
smells
a
kinda
doughy
weird.
in the middle.
Yeah, compared to the last bacon, which was just sort of light and fluffy, this is just kind of chewy and kind of aggressively sugary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just pulling this out. So I don't know if you guys know anything about making bread, but this didn't proof well. So you see how it's kind of smushy
Yeah,
in the middle, and it actually looks like all these layers just kind of stuck together.
yeah.
So this is an underproofed donut. Oh my God, am I Dr. Donut?
You're Dr. Donut.
You are Dr. Donut.
This is gonna sound silly. I'm gonna cleanse my palate with a delicious donut.
Oh my
No, because I wanna try.
Yeah, you want to back to back it.
I wanna try their maple glaze just to make sure I'm not just hating.
Oh yeah, get their maple
I don't
glaze
wanna
over
be a
here.
hater.
Oh my god, it's so different. This actually tastes like maple.
So this is a maple donut from Delicious. Okay.
It's really good.
Oh,
Wow.
that's really good.
Yeah.
It's not sickeningly sweet. It tastes like maple.
Okay, I'm curious about Voodoo's just basic glaze.
Their glaze looks nice.
Yeah,
I
it
have to
does.
say, visually speaking, their donuts look beautiful.
And there's something to be said for the vibe of a really celebratory donut, right?
Right.
Like these are definitely the most maximalist donuts on the table.
And actually their glaze looks beautiful. It looks absolutely just really nice.
Yeah, that's good.
It's like if I were a child, that would be probably my favorite.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, yeah. Just turbo sugar.
It's so
Wackiness.
They're so sweet.
And one thing I will say, Claudia brought this up in a previous episode with a Portland Mainer talking about our donuts and how they have great personalities. And I think Voodoo does nail that Portland personality type donut.
Oh, for sure.
And they're always in every detail of their brand, they're looking for ways to just push the envelope. For example, their Voodoo Dozen comes with 13 donuts.
Yeah.
And it's like in every detail. So
You know what? I mean, there's a lot of haters, and the reason being is it is overrated. But is it overrated in its branding? No. It is perfectly rated. It is like exactly, look at this donut. It looks like it's the voodoo doll donut.
I mean, can we go so far as to say that like we don't want to eat voodoo donuts, but we're glad they exist?
Yeah.
We're just glad they're out there fighting the good fight of
Making things a little bit more interesting. It's just, I just wish they would proof them.
yes.
All right, guys, let's take a quick break here. And when we come back, one of the most controversial picks according to our listeners.
Hey, CityCast Portland, it's Michael Ziviak. While CityCast Portland works hard every day to connect you with the stories that matter most, I'm working in the background making sure that our listeners are connecting with the best that Portland has to offer. So what does that look like? It means meeting with the people who make Portland what it is, the business owners, the stakeholders, the decision makers, the Portlanders who put together those food festivals you enjoy, the concerts you attend, the exhibits you can't miss, and who make those candles your mom can't stop talking about. If this sounds like you, let me help you get your message out to the city's best audience with an ad right here on the CityCast Portland podcast and on our sister daily newsletter, Hey Portland. Shoot me an email at ads@citycast.fm and let's connect.
Well, let's transition into our next donut by, I'm going to quote Tammy Hernandez, who wrote in and wrote, overrated, Blue Star, and Voodoo.
Yeah. I kind of think that Blue Star might be the most controversial of any of them at this point, because I feel like the Voodoo reputation is kind of cooked, but I feel like Blue Star is
Okay.
sort of all over the place.
Wow. Okay, immediately, these are such beautiful donuts.
Yeah. I think if, Voodoo Donuts is the like sort of from the streets punk rock donut of Portland, these are sort of the like bespoke indie rock, sort of like, slightly pretentious kind of highfalutin donuts.
This donut definitely listens to Death Cab for Cutie.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. Like a little bit twee, but like also quite polished.
Yeah.
So they were founded about 10 years ago. Former husband and wife combo of Katie Pope and Micah Camden. Pope is still the CEO. Camden is more or less out of the business. He might still have a bit of a financial stake, but he's been pretty well known in Portland for starting all sorts of the sort of Portland 2.0 restaurants, right? So like Blue Star Donut is like the beautiful, fashionable donut. And like Little Big Burger is like the beautiful, fashionable little hamburger. And like Boxer Ramen is like, a kind of like hip ramen spot. And I feel like they always make delicious food, but it also feels very much like you're buying into the entire brand and an aesthetic.
But is that so bad?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that this is sort of like a metaphor for the change in Portland, right? Like, is it better to have just the sort of immigrant-run, like, local businesses? Or do we have, I got these off of North Mississippi, and that's a neighborhood that has been completely taken over by boutique-y small businesses in what used to be the center of the African-American community in Portland.
Right. But, this was started by a local. I mean, Micah is from Portland, and, he's not, I don't think, he wasn't born and raised here, but he's first gen. And I don't know. Like, I'm not defending these gorgeous donuts because immediately I want to say, just immediately, these aren't donuts to me.
Well,
They're
I mean,
not, because
but
they're
like,
brioche.
But here's like the thing. Here's the thing about it is like these were far and away the most expensive dozen donuts that we
That's
got.
another great point.
How much was it?
I spent $60
On a dozen?
on a dozen
Oh, yeah.
donuts. Yeah.
even Voodoo's 13 donut dozen was $25. So
My
without tip.
dozen at Delicious Donuts was $20.50.
You see what I mean?
goodness.
I think that that's the difference. Like,
Yeah.
are these 3 times as good? Or like, do we want to live in a city that is 3 times as expensive?
That is such a good question. Should we eat them
Yeah.
and find out? Ooh. I'm going to go for this glazed one just because it looks like the easiest for me to handle.
I'm going to try the matcha one.
Oh, the glaze is just so beautiful.
And they're brioche donuts, you know? So like a little bit higher egg content, a little bit higher butter, like very, very rich, but like
They even smell different. They don't even smell like donuts.
They don't. No, they smell like a beautiful pastry, which is what we're eating.
This matcha is really funky. It doesn't taste like matcha. I'm trying to figure out what it tastes like. It kind of tastes like chicken. Sorry, it's weird. And I like matcha.
Okay, so I just picked their raised glaze because that's usually my barometer. You know, just starting off. I think their actual glaze amazing. I don't know what it is. It's a little citrusy. It's just so good. Mm-hmm. But the actual donut is not as light and fluffy as I like. But if that delicious donut had this glaze, holy moly.
all right, I'm eating the chicken donut.
Their old fashioned has a nice crunch on the outside.
I'm just staring at John.
Tastes
You
like
taste
chicken.
the chicken?
That all I can taste is chicken.
I told you it tastes like chicken. I'm sorry, Blue Star.
Taste it.
I mean, it's not chicken. It's like there's something.
It's chicken.
Okay, I'm gonna try it. I understand there's a savoriness. I'm not quite picking up chicken. Oh no, yes.
It's like the suggestion of chicken.
Yes.
Does
And
it?
it's just it's fried chicken skin. It's not
Yes.
chicken itself.
Yes,
it's
yes,
the
yes.
fried
It's the-
chicken skin.
Yes.
It's like the
Yes.
seasoning and the
Right? It's the
outside.
seasoning
Thank
of
you.
fried chicken skin.
Yes,
Yeah.
you guys both
Guys,
get me.
I'm not mad at it. It's
No, it's
pretty.
really not awful. It's just unexpected.
I will say, among readers and listeners of the show, these were the most controversial. We had we had the most people who were like both explicitly in favor of Blue Star and explicitly against Blue Star. Like David S., overpriced and not that great. But then Amy Starkey says, if you crave a bougie donut, which they are bougie, with unexpected flavor combos, you must visit Blue Star. And then another guy said that they have the best vegan donuts. Jessica London says, every donut there we hate. I practically live on top of Blue Star. We tried to like it. It's not possible.
Julie, what do you think?
I am not convinced. There's been aspects of each of the ones that I've tried that surprise me in a way I don't want to be surprised.
It's like the salt and straw effect.
Yeah, that's a great way
Which
of
I think
putting
is
it.
like, it's a real corollary too.
I'm assuming each donut was like, what, $4?
More than that, yeah.
So we're talking, this is a $5 donut, essentially.
But like maybe you only want one donut. Like I never need more than a donut.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll be honest. It's just, you asked the question, I'm answering the question you posed, which is like, is it worth that price? If anything, I still prefer the delicious donut cake donut. Like that chocolate donut was really good. Yeah. Their raised donut is too dense and rich for me in a way that I don't like. And this is all just like things I like, you know?
Even the fritter one in the back right corner doesn't compare to the fritter from Delicious. Yeah. When you bite into it, it almost tastes wet. It's weird. It's a very strange texture.
Yeah.
I don't like that they're $5 each.
Yeah.
I find that insulting.
No, I mean I do too. I feel really conflicted about it because like we've said, donuts are sort of like this very earthy.
It's the food of the people.
It's the food of the people. It's like the blues of pastries. You know, it's just sort of like simple and like passionate.
Let me just tell you, I don't taste struggle in any of these donuts.
No.
And I just feel
God,
like
no.
I'll go back. What makes a good donut for me, and again, I'm speaking just for myself, I'm not speaking for all of Portland, is just a little bit of that. I worked a 14, 16-hour shift, and I'm hoping this donut shop doesn't close.
Yeah.
And I'm doing this for my family.
Right. And these sort of taste like this donut matches my outfit.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, speaking of donuts I would never eat, I have a batch of vegan donuts.
Let's bring on the vegan donuts.
I'm not vegan, but I have friends that are vegan. And when they come visit me, I like to keep up where all the good vegan spots are because I love wowing them with how much vegan stuff Portland has. We got a lot of, when we asked like, hey, which are the best donuts? The newsletter blew up and Dough Donuts was one of like the ones that came up a lot as well. They're just like, oh, you know, they're great. They have great inventive flavors. They're very light and airy. Someone just was like the best. That's all they wrote. They just wrote best. Well, I guess we're going to see. So this is, again, all vegan. The owners are Carly Sittner and Crystal Wegener. They were making donuts at a large grocery chain on weekends, and then they decided, like, hey, we're going to start our own shop. So they opened up Doughnut in 2016, which is so long ago, and I didn't know. But it's because it was at the corner of Southeast 82nd and Powell Boulevard. But they just moved to their Hollywood location, which is when I started to hear about them a handful of years ago. And they're both culinary school graduates. And if you look at these gorgeous donuts, I think that you would.
Oh yeah, I mean these are beautiful in a different way. Like the last box, the Blue Stars looked like donuts as objects of design, and these look like donuts as like objects of food art. They look yeah.
And these are
Objects of fine dining, maybe. Yeah. I also have my first sighting of a vegetable in all of the donuts.
I'm very excited. This is our first this is like our first savory entry. This is the breakfast burrito donut.
Oh.
Are you ready? We have
Yes.
to try this. So could you describe this donut for a listener?
Oh my God.
It's sort of looking like, it almost like reminds me of a samosa or something.
Yes.
You know, it almost looks like it's going to be like crispy, flaky, as opposed to like doughy, soft. But it is a donut shape. There's no hole in the center, and there is what looks like a slice of carrot and maybe like a pickled jalapeno on top of it.
They're both pickled. I think it's escabeche. So it's a very Mexican, like pickled. I'm sure you've seen them when you go to taco shops and stuff.
I'm very interested.
I wonder what's in it. I'm just gonna cut it in half. Are you guys cool with that?
Yeah, just get it.
Surprise.
Honestly, it looks like a samosa.
This looks so much like a samosa. All right, here we go. Breakfast burrito donut.
Now that's delicious.
That's really good.
That is really good.
That's really good.
I would eat this
I would
for
eat
breakfast.
this. Yeah, I would eat this like 3 days a week.
I feel like that is the most excitement I've seen in, like, you exclaim.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't have a huge sweet tooth. I don't find donuts like very useful in my daily life. It's like a once every couple months treat. But like this
is very good.
This I would eat regularly.
I must say, maybe we really like them because it's the only savory thing we've eaten.
Because we've eaten like 1,000,
We're like,
2,000
oh my
calories
God.
of sugar, and having something that is a vegetable is like,
oh my god.
gosh. A potato, actual nourishment.
Yeah. No, this is
It
really
is
good.
really tasty, though.
And all vegan too.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's true. I think a lot of it is that it is respite from what we had to eat before. It's just pure sugar.
I mean, I am so satisfied with that savory donut, but I feel like we have to have a bite of one of the sugar donuts.
Okay. The gentleman who helped me out, this is his favorite donut. It's like a vanilla bean donut. And he said this is the most popular donut they sell every day, which is called the Portland Fog.
So it's like a donut with glaze and then like looks like some kind of like
probably Earl Grey.
hand whipped cream.
Yeah.
I want to grab the red sugary one.
So that one is berry tahine.
Okay.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. And you guys know what tahine is, right? It's like that Mexican spice of like dehydrated lime and chili and just it's goodness and salt.
Ooh. It's like a little zesty.
Okay, so here's the deal. It has the same lightness as Blue Star, which to me means not that much lightness. But if I were vegan, I guess I would be very happy.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I can't dunk on a vegan donut for not having like the same
Texture
of a non-vegan donut. I mean, and I will say of the ones that I had a bite of, like the sort of dusting on the outside was really, really interesting. It was sugary, but also had like a sort of zesty, like almost citrus flavor to it.
It reminds me of eating like a chili-covered dried mango. And I love those. I'm a texture person, but in the opposite sense. The weirder the texture, the more I like it. So I'm actually a really big fan of these donuts. I think these are some of my favorites.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I really enjoy the chewiness of these.
Just the flavor. Here's the deal. The texture isn't quite there for me, but the flavor is really good. This is the peanut butter chocolate marshmallow one.
Yeah, these donuts aren't overly sweet.
They're not overly sweet, right?
No. And that's surprising because it's our last shop that we're trying.
I'm going to try this. I've been wanting to try this one since I saw it because it's so beautiful. It's the Portland Fog. And it's like this little blue. Oh, I get it.
London
it's like a
fog.
gray cloud with a little, more cloud on top because it's like whipped cream on
Yep.
top of raised donuts on a tray. That's awesome.
Does it taste like Earl Grey?
You have to taste it.
Okay.
I think because of the vegan cream,
Yeah.
it actually gives the texture, like it coats my tongue the way that I want a donut to coat.
So
Do you know what I'm
they've
saying?
reverse engineered
It
the perfect donut
reverse
feel.
engineered what a donut is supposed to taste like.
No, that Earl Grey is fabulous.
Well, let's wrap it up. Like, any final thoughts? Like, what are we thinking? If we had to say, okay, what was your favorite donut or what was your favorite donut shop? Like, how do you want to guys take it?
I still think like if I was just gonna have like if I was in a bad mood and I wanted like one treat to make myself feel better, I think I'd still go to Blue Star Donuts. I think you weren't crazy about like the cakiness. I actually liked that because it does feel more like a piece of rich cake. And I think like having a single Blue Star donut would be like a really nice experience. I don't want two of them. And I think that Delicious Doughnuts is my favorite entire donut shop, my favorite donut vibe. I think the entire sort of identity of them and like the spread of donuts. Like I could imagine having a dozen of those and like eating a few of them over a course of a couple days.
I am so surprised to say this, but my favorite overall is dough donuts.
And you're not vegan, are you?
I am not vegan.
I literally brought you beef sticks from Costco.
Listener, this is true. Claudia brought beef sticks to my house.
I'm a beef stick girl. I like to eat meat. I always have. It's how I was raised. So I don't ever seek out vegan spots at all. And I think the texture, the flavor, the creativity, presentation, dough donuts take the cake. But
Do dough
I
donuts
had to
take
say
the
it.
donut?
they take the donut. So, but as far as my least favorite, probably Blue Star. I feel like all things considered, I was like, I'm just not impressed.
Yeah.
I would go to Voodoo over Blue Star, which is really a hot take.
Interesting.
I know. Yeah.
I have a controversial favorite.
Oh no.
You going dough?
It's Delicious Donuts. Joking. It was the opposite of what I meant. Humor. Yeah.
You had me
You
for
weren't
a minute.
expecting it. Yeah, no, it's Delicious Donuts. I'm sorry, you guys. That's a fucking donut.
I mean,
It's true.
yeah. And if somebody was like, I want a perfect donut, I think
That is a perfect
Yeah,
donut.
I would go
is.
Delicious Donuts.
Yeah. But I hear where you're coming from with like,
But maybe I don't even want a donut.
that's
in
what
that
I'm saying.
moment.
I don't even think you like donuts.
Maybe I don't
Maybe that's
even-
what it is.
maybe I don't even
John
want-
and I are
you
not
want fried
yeah.
brioche with a guava something. And you know what? You should have it. If that's what you want, you should have it. And that's go to Blue Star.
I don't think I'm going to want to eat any donuts for the next 2 years of my life after this tasting.
I love them all.
You do?
I do. I don't know if you guys know this. I freaking love donuts.
Do you like donuts?
But what I was really surprised by dough donut. Like I really was surprised that like I think the flavors are there. But yeah, that breakfast donut was I think that was my surprise hit
Dough donuts definitely like most interesting donuts.
for sure. So here we go. Our favorites are John really likes his Blue Star.
John, who likes the one that we've all agreed is not like even quite a donut. Yes.
Surprises you in the wrong ways.
Meat Sticks over here.
Meat stick loving Julia picks the vegan donut.
Meat Sticks Fiona loves the dough donut.
And Dr. Doughnut, Dr. Doughnut herself, comes out for Delicious Donuts.
That's right. Well, you guys, I'm pretty sure I have diabetes now. I'm gonna go ahead and try to eat some protein. Should we
You
just
crack
take a
open
nap?
those meat sticks.
Yeah.
Should we just like go underneath the table here
Yeah.
and just take a nice 15 to 20 minute sugar nap?
Yeah, I'm going to go sweat it out.
John, you are sweating.
I am sweating, yeah.
Sweating too. It's donut coming out of my
Ed,
pores.
wait, did I have just sugar stuck to my chin and no one said anything?
I didn't see
My
it.
fingers are like sticky.
Sticky, my mouth is just caked
Let's
with
all communally go wash
sugar.
our hands.
Listeners, don't do this at home. Don't do your
Never
own
do this
thing.
again. Let us never do this again. from like one of the biggest donut lovers. Let us never do this again.
Next week, ice cream.
Oh my god, I could not.
We'd be stuck on the toilet
Trust me, you
collectively.
could not. You would not want that from me. Nope. Through our newsletter, we heard from a lot of you about your favorite donuts in Portland. From Heavenly to Sesame to Pips, we ourselves had a lot of honorable mentions we just couldn't get to. What others do you think we missed? Send us an email at portland@citycast.fm and check out our Hey Portland newsletter next Tuesday to see who else is on the list. And now for your microdose of news. Fentanyl use has skyrocketed in recent years, according to data from a federal drug task force operating in Idaho and Oregon. For comparison, they seized only 43 doses of the synthetic opioid in 2019, but hauled in a whopping 32 million doses in 2022. Also, the drug's price has fallen sharply to as little as $2 a pill. And Portland City Council made a big splash when it scaled back a plan to raise water rates last month. But now they've reversed course once again and are partly reinstating the same rate hikes. Beginning July 1st, the average utility user will now see their water costs an additional $90 per year. City leaders say it's part of an effort to save a program that provides utility bill assistance for low-income renters. For even more local news and events, sign up for our daily newsletter, Hey Portland. We'll throw a link in the show notes. That's all for today here on CityCast Portland. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more from around the city. Until then, see you at Slim's.